Long, long ago, far, far away, before there was rain, and even before there was a Lion King, there was a man, and his name was Noah. Hi, I am Noah 2000. Long, long ago, I knew a family. There was a father, a mother, a son, a daughter, and a duck. And his name was Darnell Duck. And Darnell was a very special duck because whenever Mom would say, "Speak," Darnell Duck would go, "Ding, ding." Mom would take him up the block and she would say, "Speak," and Darnell Duck would go, "Ding, ding." What would Darnell do? That's unrehearsed. She would take him down the block, your last try, and she would say, "Speak," and Darnell Duck would go, what would Darnell Duck do? Yeah, very nice, second try. Well, more important than Darnell Duck was Mom's son. His name was Enrique, which happens to be my middle name. Now, Enrique loved to play a lot of games. Now, the games he played, they were before like Waka 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 Pac-Man, that's for the grown-ups. It was before Roblox, and it was definitely before Kick, bowl. Yes, it was definitely before that. The adults, they have no idea. But here's what's true. The game he played was called Fireman. Now, Fireman was a simple game. He would just pretend that there was a fire over here and dial 911 on his pretend phone. Hello, hello, there's a fire, there's a fire. And then he would hear, yeah, he would do that over and over again. He'd run over here and he'd pretend there was a fire and dial on his pretend phone 911. 911 takes this long, depending on where you live. Hello, hello, there's a fire, there's a fire. And then he would hear. He would do that over and over again until finally he would play his all-time favorite game, and it was called Hit the Cans, a very simple game. So you pick up one can, put it on the fence, two cans, put it on the fence, and yes, you pick up the third can, put it on the fence. You step back. You pick up the first rock, and you throw the first rock. Ding! You knock down the first can, pick up the second rock, and you throw the second rock. Knock down the second can, and yes, you'd pick up the third rock and you throw the third rock. That's called suspense. Dink! And knock down the third can. But today, when he was outside playing, hit the cans. As he put up can number one, can number two, can number three, as he stepped back to pick up that first rock, what did he hear but That's right, it was Darnell Duck. And Darnell went and stood in front of can number one. Now, his head was lower than that can, but still, he was in front of can number one. As Enrique looked at the rock, looked at the duck, looked at the can, he heard the words that his mom had said so many times. Enrique, when you play hit the cans, don't play near the duck. Don't play near the duck. But he decided he would go for it anyway. So he pulled back, and he threw that first rock. He knocked down the first can. Darnell is okay. But as he went to pick up that second rock, what did he hear but? That's right, Darnell Duck went and stood in front of can number two. Well, he picked up the rock. He looked at the rock. He looked at the duck. He heard the words that his mom said, "Don't play near the duck. Don't play near the duck." He pulled back, and he threw the second rock. Ding! Number 2 is down. He's okay. He decided, I'll just do the 3rd can. I'll go inside, and that'll be that. So, as he went back to pick up rock number 3, what did he hear? Do it with me, but... That's right. He picked up that 3rd rock. Looked at the rock, looked at the duck, looked at the can, heard the words of his mom, dude, play me the duck. He pulled back, and he threw that 3rd rock as if it's slow motion. Hey, boys and girls, let's see that in instant replay, shall we? He threw that 3rd rock as if it's slow motion. Oh no, he hit Darnell. He hit Darnell. He went over to Darnell. He said, speak, speak. And Darnell stood up and went, dunk, dunk, which is different than ding, ding. And he knew Mom would know the difference. And just in that moment, his little sister came up from the back and she said, ooh, you hit the duck. Ooh, you hit the duck. I'm going to tell Mom. I'm going to tell Mom. He said, no, 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 don't tell Mom. Don't tell Mom. I'll do anything. She said, okay, then you pull me in my wagon. Jumped in and she yelled, pull, pull. Or I'm going to tell Mama. Pull, pull. Around the house once, twice, she said, on Dancer, on Prancer, on Donner, on Blitzen, pull, pull. Pull, pull. He went round and round till finally he stopped. We're near the end. He said, I can't go anymore. I can't go anymore. If I go anymore, I'm going to die. His little sister said, we all have to go sometime. Pull, pull, or I'm going to tell Mama. Pull, pull. He went round and round and round till finally he stopped. I can't go anymore. I gotta get some water. Little sister said, all right, we're at the end, the very end. You go inside, get some water, and you get right back. So he started off towards the house. And as he was going towards the house, he thought about what his little sister was doing. He turned around, looked at her, and he said to himself, I'm gonna tell Mama myself. So to the house he went. He grabbed the door, pushed it open, stepped inside, step, tap, 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 tap. Step, tap, tap, tap. Review. Step, tap, 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 tap. Until he was face to face with Mama. He said, Mom, I was outside playing Hit the Cans, and I threw the 1st rock, ding, and I threw the 2nd rock, ding, and I threw the 3rd rock. And I hit Darnell, I'm sorry, 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 I'm sorry. And while he was saying all those sorries, Mom took her hand and she placed it on his shoulder. She's not that kind of mom, not that kind of mom. And she said, I know. I know. I happened to be in the kitchen when it happened, looking out the window, and I saw the whole thing. And you know what, Enrique? The moment you hit the duck, I forgave you. The moment you hit the duck, I forgave you. I just needed for you to come in and be forgiven. Now, boys and girls, Jesus is just like that mom. He sees everything you do, the good things and the bad. But you know what? The moment you do a bad thing, Jesus forgives you. He just needs for you to come to him in prayer and be forgiven. Please bow your heads. Close your eyes. I'm going to pray that you remember that lesson. Dear Jesus, thank you for the boys and girls who sit before me. Thank you for the lesson of the story that if ever they do a bad thing, you forgive them, and they just need to come to you in prayer and be forgiven. In Jesus' name I pray. Say with me, amen.